Number 13 of your 3.5. So we need to find the inverse of the f of x. So first step, with the f of x equal y. So we have y equal x squared minus 6. And here we keep the x less equal than 0. Now we interchange x and y. So y tend to the x tend to the y squared minus 6. Interchange x and y, that means this x value change to the y less equal than 0. Now we solve for y. Y is here. So I did a y squared equal x plus 6. And y is less equal than 0. Now we solve for single y, which is y is equal plus minus square root x plus 6. Because here that has restricted y is less equal than 0, that means we have to exclude the positive solution. So now I can write down the inverse of the f of x is equal to negative square root x plus 6. So the negative square root x plus 6 is the inverse of the f of x squared minus 6. Now we need to solve for the domain of this inverse function. Here, it tells us y is less equal than 0. So this is the inverse of the x. So now, with that inverse, let me write down here, negative square root x plus 6 is less equal than 0. Because this is the y, so y is less equal than 0. Now we solve for the x. We are looking for the domain of this inverse function. So I divide by negative 1 on both sides. So negative sign will go away. So you have root x plus 6 less equal than 0. 0 divided by whatever stays 0. Now we do the square on both sides. This square will get rid of the square root sign. So you have the x plus 6 less equal than 0. Bring the 6 to the right hand side. That means your x have to restrict all the x values less equal than negative 6. So this is the domain of your inverse function of the f of x. Number 14, we do the same procedure finding the inverse of the f of x. So step 1, I write down that y is equal 4 over x squared. So here you have the x greater than 0. Now we interchange x and y. So y tend to the x, and the x tend to the y. This restriction x value will change to the y as well. Now we solve for y. So we diagonal multiply. I will get a 4 equal x y squared. Now y is greater than 0. Solving the y. So I divide by x to the both sides. So you have the 4 over x is equal y squared. Now here we still keep the y greater than 0. Now y is equal plus minus root 4 over x. However, we have to restrict y is greater than 0. So we need to discard the negative sign. So from here, I can write down the inverse function is a positive root 4 over x. Now root 4 over x is equivalent. I can rewrite into the root 4 over root x. Now root 4 is 2. And keep in mind, we don't like the denominator has the square root sign. So we duplicate the square root x to the bottom and the numerator as well. So now the bottom part, you have the double square root x, which is a positive x. And the numerator, you will have the root 2 root x. So this would be the inverse of the 4 over x squared. Now, finding the domain of this one, again, I did the root 2 root x over x. greater than 0. So now we solve for the x. I put a 1 to the bottom, diagonal multiply. It gives me the 2 root x greater than 0. So that means root x greater than 0. Divide by 2 on both sides. The right side stays 0. That means x must be greater than 0. So this is the inverse of the f of x, and this is the domain of the x.